Hello and welcome, I'm Bert the Stormtrooper, and today we're going to be taking a look at the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles 2016 movie toys, and I'm super excited to be bringing you these guys. The last movie toys that came out were of 2014, and that was a very cool toy line, and that the toy line did not disappoint, and I have been very excited and looking forward to this new toy line and this new turtle truck, and there's a whole bunch of new toys that are coming out for the new movie that I have been really looking forward to get my hands on to review. These guys are all brand new. They're released in April of 2016. They're brand new. They're starting to hit stores right now as of the time of this recording. The figures are averaging approximately $9 a piece per figure, and the truck in the back, the Turtle Assault truck, or the Turtle Tactical Truck, rather, is going for approximately $40, depending on where you find them. So, yeah, I just picked up these guys, and as you can see, I don't have the entire line. These are all the guys that I was able to find and pick up. There are 3 basic figures that are still missing from here. I'm missing Splinter, which I'm probably not going to pick up. They did have him at the store. I grabbed him and I looked at him, and he looks like he's just a repaint of the Splinter figure that we got with the previous movie. So I'm probably not going to pick him up. And then the other 2 figures that are missing are the Foot Soldier or the Foot Ninja and Casey Jones, and they just did not have those guys in the store. So there are some other figures that they're showing us with the cross cells, and I'll bring this guy in real quick. So this is the literature that comes with the truck and with most of the figures. It's your cross cells for all the other toys that are coming out. And here's all the basic figures, and you can see the 4 turtles at the top. Let me zoom in close here so you can see Splinter. And as you can see, Splinter looks pretty much exactly like the same figure that we got previously. He's just repainted. And then we've also got some costumed versions of the turtles. There's a Leonardo in stuffed disguise. There's a Michelangelo in a pirate costume, and there's a Raphael in a wingsuit. None of these guys, these costume guys, they were not at the store. They've got a Casey Jones, and they've got a Foot Soldier. Again, these guys, they were not at the stores. But as you can see, there's no April in this. So I don't know if maybe she's going to be a later release, or if they're just not going to give us an April figure with this movie line. We'll just have to wait and see. I did see the cycles with the figures, and again, I'm probably not going to pick those guys up. But there's what those guys look like. I did see all 4 of those at the store. And I did see a couple of these, the deluxe talking figures. I saw that they were there on the shelf, but I didn't really pay much attention to them because I'm really just kind of interested in the basic figures. And then again, as far as vehicles go, we've got the Turtle Tactical Vehicle, which is really the only one that I've seen in store so far. But I'm really looking forward to that Technodrome. And then again, we're going to get a Sewer City layer playset, which looks like a light remold of the one that the 2 actually that we've gotten currently with the Nick Turtles collection. So there's that one right there. I'm probably not going to get that either, since we already have the Nick Turtles, the first version of the Nick Turtles City Sewer layer. But yeah, that Technodrome, I'm really looking forward to that. And then again, I'm looking forward to that Casey and that Foot Soldier when those guys come out. So this is going to be very similar to the come on, focus now. This is going to be very similar to the video that I made with the 2014 movie toys. I'm going to break off from here, and we're going to look at every figure individually. We're going to compare them to their predecessors, and then we're going to take a nice look at that tactical vehicle, that dump truck in the back that is so cool. So, without further ado, let's get into the figures. And just like we did last time, we are going to start off with Leonardo because Leonardo leads. So, yeah, very similar yet very different to the guys that we got before. Leonardo here stands approximately 5 inches tall. He's very colorful. They've added a lot more color to these guys. They've definitely redesigned their body styles, where before they had a very hunched over kind of look. This time around, the turtles are standing a lot straighter than they did before. before, and you can see the detail on the shell a lot more. Now, they're not wearing all their skirt stuff that they had last time, but they are all wearing pants. So they don't have like those tabard and kind of like the flap covers that they had before or anything like that, but they are all four of them wearing pants. But other than that, the top part of their bodies are a lot more exposed than the previous figures did. So, yeah, it has a lot more of a kind of a classic turtle look than the previous figure did. Like I mentioned, the shell is a lot more exposed. He looks a lot leaner and a lot buffer than he did before. You can see kind of that V shape there in his torso. And then you can see the outline of the shells, which is a callback to kind of those classic turtles, how you had the 6 pieces of shell right here in the front. You can see that with this guy right there. A lot more colorful. You can see he's got like this blue sash going around his waist now, which is kind of a callback to the accessories from the original Turtles, the original cartoon Turtles rather, where they had the color matching accessories on them. So you got this kind of like this blue sash rather, and then you've got his sheaths for his swords are also colored blue. Now, there are a couple of pegs. There's one peg here and one peg back up here for the sheaves. I tried wiggling on these guys, and they are not giving at all. So I don't think that these are supposed to come off, which makes me wonder how well they're going to fit into the turtle van. We'll see when we get to that. But, yeah, this doesn't look like that's ready to come off at all. But as you can see, the shell has a very nice detail. Very nice. A lot slimmer, again, like than we did before. And it sits a lot lower than the previous version, so he's not as hunchback. He seems to have like these, like just these black pants with, actually, they seem like they're shorts. They almost seem like they're cargo shorts. As you see back here, there's like these pockets back here. So he kind of looks like he's wearing cargo, like these cargo shorts with then his bottom legs are exposed, and he's just got the wraps on the bottom legs, and then possibly like some kind of a ninja shoe, some kind of a ninja footwear there. Not quite sure, but there you go. So there's all the detail on him. He comes with 2 swords that are very similar to the ones that he came with the last time, and then of course these guys are going to fit into his sheaths just like that. So, very nice looking figure. A lot of articulation has been added to these figures this time around. The head is once again on a ball joint, so you've got all kinds of range of movement on him. You can bobble side to side, up and down, turn, and tilt. So, very nice there. You've got a peg and ball on the shoulder, so you've got an in and out, and you've got a rotation. You have, again, a pin and ball on the elbow, so you've got a nice bend at the elbow both ways, and you also have a rotation at the elbow, though not quite a 90. He's only going to go about that far. And then this time around, they added a rotation at the wrist, which we did not have before. So that's very nice that that's added in there. Again, pin and ball at the hips, so you can go forward and backwards. You can go in and out, and you've got a rotation. Pin and ball, again, at the knee. So, again, you got a nice 90 at the knee with a rotation as well. So, yeah, very cool. A lot of added articulation, and I think definitely an improvement over the on the designs. Like I mentioned in my previous video, I'm not a big fan of this new movie design. However, with the last movie toys, I think they did make for some pretty cool figures, and I did like the way that the figures came out. I didn't quite like the way they looked on screen, but the toys were cool. I really did think that the toys were very nice and cool looking toys, but this looks like they're taking that cool style that the toys had, and they're kind of taking it back a little bit and making it a little more classic, which is very cool. As you can see, the way it's designed, it appears as though the sheaves are held by the straps that go over his shoulder. So you got the kind of over the shoulder diagonal strap going across his torso there with one section in the middle here. I guess this is supposed to go over, and they just didn't mold it that way. But again, very kind of classic look for him. And then bringing him in closer, you can see the face. Again, it got a little bit away from that movie look and kind of calling back to the old cartoon, which I like. So real quick for comparison, here he is with the previous movie Leonardo, and you can see they stand just about as tall, but as you can see, that previous Leonardo was very hunched over. And then he had kind of like that skirt thing going, and you got these tabards, kind of like these flaps, cover flaps or whatever, which really hindered a lot of his articulation. So there's Leonardo compared to his previous movie self. Moving on to Donatello. Again, Donatello, my favorite of all the turtles. With these designs, probably my least favorite of the designs. It seems like with the last movie, where they were perpetuating the nerd stereotype, with him wearing the glasses that are broken in the middle with the tape, and squealing when he saw guys with guns, and snorting when he laughs, and I always wanted to be the badass, and it just seems like they perpetuated they picked the best character, who in my opinion is the best character anyway, to perpetuate the stereotype of the nerd, and it was kind of unfortunate. But so here we have Donatello, and again, not a bad design. I think a little improved from the previous one. Gone are the solar panels that were hanging all around his waist that looked like some sort of maybe samurai armor, or maybe just solar panels. I don't know, some kind of a skirt. That's all gone, and it looks like he's wearing BDU pants. Actually, these look very similar to the cargo pants that I used to wear in the Army. So that's kind of cool. And then to go along with those, he looks like he's wearing combat boots. So yeah, he's kind of got this G.I. Joe thing going. Oh, he stands about 5.5 inches tall. He's the tallest of the group. And so going on around, it looks like they took all the gear from the previous movie. This thing is kind of sliding all over the place, so we'll set it aside for now. But it looks like they took all the gear from the previous movie, and in true Michael Bay style, they kind of militarized it, which in this case I think is an improvement over the previous one. The bandana is not as long as the one that he had before. If you remember, before he had the bandana tails came all the way down, and it almost looked like Jar Jar Binks' ears. But that's not there anymore. So yeah, you've got the boots, you got the combat boots, you got the BDU pants, you've got these almost looks like an LBE strap, like it's LBE or LCE, light combat equipment belt. That you would have, that kind of like the one I used to wear in the Army, and going up and over his shoulders to what is now a backpack that looks a lot less like that convoluted Paul Feig proton pack that the previous figure had. So yeah, it almost kind of looks like he's just wearing combat gear. So I do kind of like that. I think it's better, and I think it is an improvement. Again, the figure's torso, it looks a little more buff. You can see the more of a V shape with his torso. And again, you've got the 6 separations in the shell right there, which is very classic. The head, this time around, they did include his glasses. The last figure did not have glasses. This one, they did put the glasses on him. And then his goggles are different. His goggles, going from like a night vision goggles that he had before, this almost kind of looks like a scuba mask, or maybe like... I don't know, like something out of X-Men. I'm not quite sure, but there you go. It's for accessories. He comes with his bow staff one more time, which is like this. I don't know, mechanical device of his. I don't know, and it looks like it's got a prod at the end, which he can hold with his hand, no problem. There you go. And then he does come with a couple other accessories, and we can. Don't need to stand here for a second. We'll bring in the other accessories. He comes with this remote control drone, which I guess is cool. I guess maybe in the movie we're going to see him using a drone at some point. This doesn't clip in anywhere. There's nowhere to put this. So that's unfortunate. And then he also comes with these headphones. So maybe there's going to be some product placement in the movie. Now, there is a peg on the side of the headphones, and there is a little slot right there on the side of the backpack. So you can peg those in right there, and he can carry his headphones right there. This is soft rubber, so you can pry these open some and kind of stick them up here if you want to get him his headphones so he can be listening to him. Now, as you can see, they are being bent open quite a bit. So I would not recommend leaving those there for a long term, for long periods of time, because they're just going to stick that way. But you can do that for at least for short periods of time. You can do that. So, and then the rest of the time you can just peg these to the backpack, And there you go. For articulation, we'll get rid of that for a second. Articulation, much like Leonardo, you've got a ball jointed head. So again, see, you can see right there, ball joint head. So very nice range of movement there. You got the bobble, you got the up and down, you got the turn. You got a ball and peg on the shoulder, so in and out, rotation. You got a ball and peg on the elbow, so bend at the elbow and rotation, and again, rotation at the wrist. And you've got the same ball and peg at the hip, so you got a rotation, you got forward and backwards. Ball and peg at the knee, so you can, again, bend the knee 90 degrees, and you can rotate the knee. And then, no, nothing at the feet. That's about it. So, yeah, the articulation for the turtles are pretty much going to be about the same. A lot softer rubber this time around, it seems like, for some of these. So, like, be careful. Trying to put his staff in his hand right just now, like the thumb just bent in a direction that I don't think it should have ever bent. So just be careful with that. And I did notice something right out of the package with one of the other figures, and I'll bring that up when I get to that figure. Right now, I just kind of want Donnie to stand so that I can compare him to the previous movie version of Donnie right here. So there we go. So once again, here we have Donnie with the previous movie version of Donnie. And you see those solar panels that I was talking about right here. These are gone. Kind of a more military look, which I'm kind of digging, actually. I think it looks pretty cool. Like, he's got these things up on his shoulders. I really don't know what those are going to be. Maybe GoPro cameras. Very, very large GoPro cameras. I don't know. And then the backpacks, again, previously it looked like he had a Paul Feig style vacuum cleaner / proton pack back there, where now he looks like he's carrying some actual gear, some military gear. So I think it is an improvement on the design itself. Hopefully they'll do an improvement on the character in the movie this time around. So there's Donatello. Moving on to Raphael, and Raphael is one that I think actually kind of went backwards. Out of the 4 turtle designs from the previous toy line, Raphael was kind of my favorite because he was the one that had the most classic look in Toy Sense. He hardly didn't have any clothes on. He just kind of had like the Tarzan flap around his waist, and that was about it. You could see most of the turtles still showing. And that's what made him my favorite out of the previous line. And this time around with Raph, they've given him shorts. They've given him some sort of like a shoulder armor, and he's got this sweater tied around his waist. So I think they kind of went a little backwards with this one. Once again, he stands approximately 5 inches tall. And as you can see, very colorful, a lot brighter than before. The green is a lot brighter. The red is a lot brighter. He does come with his 2 sides. And then he also comes with these things, which I'm not really sure what these are. So I'll show you these. Yeah, let me back them up real quick. Let's get these guys in focus. These are different. I really don't know what these are. And the thing about these figures is that the package doesn't have really any information on them. It doesn't talk about what accessories they come with. And then the little inserts, they're all the same identical inserts. So there really is no information on these or instructions or anything like that. So I really don't know what these are. Maybe they'll be in the movie and they'll explain them. It looks like some sort of a pick or a tool of some sort. I really don't know. I don't know. So anyway, they comes with those things. And then he comes with his 2 sides that he's holding. And again, like I mentioned previously with Donnie, like the fingers, the rubber is very soft. So I was actually able to pry the fingers open to give him his classic hold with the sai. I don't know if I recommend that for a very long period of time because you're going to start to stretch out that soft plastic. So again, like I mentioned, brighter colors, a brighter green, a brighter red. You can see the shell. You got the 6 segments of the front shell there. Raphael is the bulkiest, the most ripped out of the 4 turtles, out of the 4 movie turtles. This time around, this guy doesn't look quite as ripped as the previous figure did. It does look a little smaller, a little leaner, but you can see a lot of that muscle definition, like in the neck right there. And in the arms, you can see that he is ripped. He just doesn't look as ripped as the previous figure did. The previous figure looked like an MMA brawler. This guy looks a little leaner. So The as far as accessories go, you've got all this. You've got almost this looks like a racing belt or like a safety belt that we would wear in helicopters when I was in the military. This 5-point harness right here. It's really kind of weird, and I don't understand it because it doesn't go to anything. If he had some sort of a gear that he was holding on to, like Donatello did, I would kind of understand that. But in this case, I don't get it. I don't understand why he has a 5-point harness with nothing in the back. As you can see, the belt does have clips, so you are able to put away his weapons. So he is able to holster them back here. We'll get these off real quick. So there you go. You can actually hold those weapons in his belt. It's kind of weird because they put them very close together. So they kind of overlap each other, and you just kind of got to make them work. But there you go. You can put him back there. He's also got these clips down here on the back of his legs, and I actually prefer these for the size because they kind of put them at hand's reach. And again, very soft rubber, so just be careful with those. But I kind of prefer that because it seems like they're at arm's reach. Like he could just reach back there and grab them and pull them out in one quick swift motion. So it's your choice. You can put them down there, you can put them up here, you can do 1-in-1, whatever you want. It's really kind of up to you. So there you go. Those are the holding accessories for his, or options for his accessories. Again, the articulation is going to be exactly the same. So you got ball joint and neck, pin and joint at the or pin and ball at the shoulder, pin and ball at the elbow, rotation at the wrist, pin and ball at the hips, so you can turn and rotate, pin and ball at the knee, again, bend and rotate, and that's going to be about it. So, again, it is an improvement over the previous articulation that we got with the previous Turtles. Let me see real quick, just want to get the... bring him in close so you can see the face. I don't know if I did the face with Donatello, didn't I? I hope I didn't forget. So there's the face with Raphael. And again, he's got the full head bandana just like he did in the previous movie. But he does at least have the tails coming down this time. So that's pretty cool. Not a bad looking figure. Like I said, I just don't understand the shoulder pad here with the 5-point harness. And they gave him these like sweat shorts with and it almost looks like he's got a sweater tied around his waist, but when you come around the back, it's not there. So I just don't understand that because, like I mentioned, with the previous figure, he was the one that was closest to original designs. We'll bring him in real quick, and as you can see, with the previous figure, he was all turtle. He hardly had any clothes on except for this thing down here. So. And then he had all his white wraps going everywhere. So I really did kind of like this one a little bit better over this one. But you know what? Now that I'm looking at them side by side, he does look a little stockier, doesn't he? And I don't know if maybe that's because of all the gear. When I looked at him by himself, he looks... Well, you look at the shell looks a little leaner, but the arms look bulkier. So I don't know. Maybe it's just because they're side by side or because he's got all that gear on. But I really did prefer this look. But there you go. There's one last look at Raphael. Moving on to Michelangelo. Michelangelo is the shortest of the group. He measures approximately 4.5 inches tall. And again, you see a lot of the cues from the previous design with some slight changes. They don't seem to be as convoluted as they were before. The little accessories seem to have been minimized. Now, this is the guy that I was mentioning that there was something that I saw right out of the box. And I want to show you guys this because I want you guys to be careful. Right out of the package, you'll see here the stress on the chain of these nunchucks, and this is just coming out of the package. You can see the white marks right there. So be very careful because stressed right out of the box. So this is very soft, very weak, and it could very easily break. So I'm going to be hitting that with a hair dryer and hopefully reconstituting it a little bit. But yeah, just be careful, guys, because this was like this out of the package, and the way they pack these guys up, they're like in and out of plastic. They like put these holes and these wraps around them, and it's convoluted. So just be careful with these guys. So one more time, Michelangelo a little brighter than he was before, just like with all the other turtles. A little leaner, You can see more of his shell this time around. And again, you got the 6 segments on his front shell. This time around, he doesn't have, he's wearing shorts at least, where before he had sweatpants with these ripped up tennis shoes. This time around, it looks like he's got sweat shorts. And then his tennis shoes are, I guess he found tennis shoes that fit his shoe size because they're not ripped up like they were previously. But he still has that hoodie wrapped around his waist. So that's whatever. Now, this time around, he does have a backpack, which he did not have previously. So he's got his little backpack, which explains these straps that are going around. He still has his puka shell, and he still has his glasses, which the previous figure did not have glasses, but he did have these glasses on during the movie. So I guess this time around, he's got those. The backpack does have a couple of clips back here, so you can peg in his nunchucks. And his nunchucks are an improvement over the last figure, because the last figure only came with one nunchuck, and then it had that one, like, 3-piece stick weapon. I don't really know what it's called. At least this time around, Nike did come with 2 nunchucks, so you can just clip them to the side of the backpack right there, just like that. And then he also comes with this skateboard. So the skateboard is cool because it's got 2 pegs on it, and you got your holes on the bottom of the feet right there. So you can very securely peg the skateboard on Mikey right there and have him riding his skateboard. So that's pretty cool, and it rolls fairly well. You know, so maybe with one of these little ramps or something, we can get him to do some tricks, but that's not going to be today. So there you go. The ramp, or the skateboard rather, it works pretty well. So I think that's a pretty cool accessory that they added to him along with the 2 nunchucks. Unfortunately, nowhere to clip it on the backpack or anything like that, which is kind of the way you see kids walking around now. I see them with their skateboards attached to their backpacks. Something we never did. I used to just ride my skateboard, but whatever. Call me old, I suppose. But yeah, I think it would have been cool if we would have been able to peg that to his back. But not the case. What are you going to do? Still, pretty cool accessory. I like it. I'm digging it. And again, articulation is going to be the same. You got a ball joint at the neck, pin and ball at the shoulder, pin and ball at the elbow, rotation at the wrist, pin and ball at the hips. This guy is going to be a little hindered because of that sweatshirt. Pin and ball at the knees, and nothing at the feet. So again, very nice set of articulation. These guys are very, very poseable. They look really, really cool. Now, this time around, Mikey does look a little more hunched up than he did previously, where even though he did have a very high riding shell and his neck was pointing straight forward, he still manages to look a little leaner than this guy here does. He almost looks like his head is shoved into his shell somehow. So the proportions on this guy are a little weird. But there you go. That's what Mike Lee looks like. There's compared to the one from the previous movie.